Hello everyone and welcome back to a Monster Hunter Wilds video. Now, the game is close, and with the game coming close, I thought you should hear about 5 things. If you're not a traditional Monster Hunter player, or maybe you are and you haven't been kind of keeping fully up to date with the game, 5 things you need to know before you play the game, or decide to buy the game. So, let's hop right in with our number 1. I think it's a huge one that a lot of people don't tend to talk about. This game's full crossplay. It's the first Monster Hunter with full, complete crossplay. I think that is absolutely huge. I mean, 100 player lobbies in full crossplay. It doesn't matter what platform you buy on, so do not worry. If you want to play on PS5 and your boys are on PC, your PC can't run it, pick it up on your PS5. Pick it up on your Xbox Series X. Get whatever you can as a stable copy of the game, because it doesn't matter. You can still play with your boys. You can still play with whoever you want to. With your version on whatever you want to play on, because crossplay has finally come to the Monster Hunter series and it's about time. I'm so happy that we have this. It just expands the player base so massively, and it will keep the game alive for a whole lot longer, in my opinion. Now, moving on to our next thing you should know about Monster Hunter Wilds: seamless gameplay. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the developers kept talking about seamless. They kept using that word all the time, and it sounds like the story, from what we've heard of the previews, flows quest into quest into quest, meaning you barely have to return to base camp. There's no post a quest, go to the board, start the quest, prep yourself, go out, hunt, come back, loading screen. There's none of that. You just go out and you hunt things. You can also just walk out into the open world, find a monster, and start hunting it. There's also, when you complete that quest, you don't go back to camp. It just continues the game. It's really cool. And it sounds like they've really focused on making this game as just immaculately immersive as possible with this seamless gameplay, especially based on the massive fact that all the areas are interconnected, meaning you can hopefully, as far as we know, they all are. We only have confirmation of 1, but I don't see them just connecting 2 of them and nothing else. So realistically, it sounds to us that all the areas are going to be fully connected, meaning you can walk from the Windward Plains to the Scarlet Forest, to the Oil Well Basin, etc, etc, which I think is huge. Just being able to, if you want to, only return to camp for resources, and not even that, you can gather and craft resources while you're out. You could technically, if you want to, never return to camp and just hunt forever, and I think that is huge for Monster Hunter. So, moving on to our third thing, that would be game mechanics like offsets and guard clashes from your weapons. Now, offset attacks are huge. These are new attacks where you can knock the monster back if you clash with them at the same time through specific weapons. I believe in the full release there will be Greatsword, Switch Axe, Insect Glaive, Hammer, and Hunting Horn, I believe, are all the ones that can do offsets. Oh, and the Heavy Bowgun, of course. Now, there are also guard clashes, which my personal favorite. I'm going to be using the Sword and Shield, and oh my god, guard clashes. Getting a perfect guard on a big attack enough times will cause a guard clash where the monster will clash with you and you'll be able to spam a button to push it back and then send it flying backwards. And I think it's such an immersive and incredible addition to a lot of the weapons. It gives the things like the Lance, Sword and Shield, Greatsword, anything that can block, this real reason to go for those perfect guards. It gives them a much more beautiful defensive flow to their weapons, rather than just being dodge, block, hit kind of thing. It just adds a lot more diversity to that fighting, and I'm so excited to pull some of these off in the full game. Now, the other game mechanic and our fourth point is focus mode. This is a brand new feature to Monster Hunter Wilds, which is almost like aiming down your sights in an FPS game, pretty much. It will allow you to aim your attacks in a certain direction. It will also allow you to break wounds from the new wound system, where if you attack a part for long enough, you'll open up a wound. Using your focus attack in focus mode will break that wound and also give you some sort of attack opportunity, or in some cases, like the Charge Blade, a buff, but we'll get more into that later. As well as that, focus mode also helps you move a lot more fluently, focus on specific parts, and actually has a little bit of magnetism on it from what we've found out recently, meaning it's going to be really useful for closing that distance sometimes to get to that specific part that you want to hit. And for our final and biggest point, weapon changes. If you are a Monster Hunter player who has played for a long time, you're gonna want to listen to this part. If you haven't been keeping up or played the betas, and even if you have played the betas, there are still more changes. For the greatsword, we have its offset attack, which is now a chargeable uppercut, as well as the perfect guard system being added to the greatsword, which gives it the ability to guard clash, beautiful, and focus mode being able to turn your true charge slash or any of your attacks in any direction. The longsword now has a follow-up to the Helmbreaker, as well as also following on from Rise, you're now able to gain a spirit gauge level from a spirit slash, which is fantastic, as well as being able to just charge your round slash from the get-go rather than having to go full combo. The switch axe can now do a full release slash, fully charging the sword to do a massive whirling explosion of elemental damage, also giving it an offset attack too. It also comes with a sword counter, which is absolutely fantastic and sounds like it got a big buff in the base game, so we're very excited to see that. Insect Glaive got some changes with a lot more combos added to the ground combat. The full game has added the aerial combos back, and I really like the focus attack giving you those beautiful bug buffs, as well as its beautiful whirlwind strike in the air when it throws the bug around and full releases all of its elemental buffs. We have the Dual Blades, which has a beautiful new focus attack, as well as splitting Demon Mode into multiple stages, Demon Dance and Blade Flurry, so that you're able to weave between that combo and you're not locked into a complete animation for the whole thing. Lance has had some mobility changes, being able to shift around a lot more, as well as just having some kind of diversity added to his moveset that isn't just poke, poke, poke. I'm a big fan of the new triple poke, and I'll be using Lance when I get some time to get a real dive into it. Gunlance has finally gotten flow to its combos with its beautiful hits and big wide bursts, and I absolutely love it, as well as getting a second Wyvern's Fire on the end of that damn boomstick. Charge Blade can now turn on a dime with its SAED, while SAED now needs a combo to go into, and Savage Axe Mode needs a perfect guard or a wound break. I feel that both of them actually do feel significantly better and varies the playstyle up massively for Charge Blade, which I absolutely love. Sword and Shield got some beautiful buffs with its Charge Chop, as well as just a lot more variety in the way of its being able to fight. I think Perfect Rush changes, while I was weird about it at first, actually really like the opportunities it gives you now. Sword and Shield for me has gone from being a lower tier weapon to just top of the tiers now, and I'm definitely using it in Wilds. Both bowguns got new firing modes. Specifically, I absolutely love the rapid fire of the light bowgun, and heavy bowgun got some beautiful offset attacks as well, so absolutely fantastic on both the bowguns. The bow had a beautiful focus attack added, as well as tracer arrows to make your arrows home in, and had an entire rework based on its buffing system through coatings that give a huge advantage to the player not having to go back and pick up more or craft any. Now you can just put them on as long as you have some gauge, and you can gain gauge by getting perfect dodges or just waiting out the gauge to charge up. Hunting Horn got a new echo bubble mechanic, as well as being able to charge up notes through its focus attack, and during echo bubbles it also got an offset attack, as well as honestly just kind of stuck to its old moveset, but with some nice little Rise hints in there. Hammer got some really interesting changes, with now being able to use your kind of claw thing to dash forward and charge your weapon. You're able to now do a massive mighty charge hit, as well as some incredible additional moves and combos, like throwing your spinning attack right in the middle of a combo is awesome. And with those weapon changes, I'm so excited to say you should absolutely be ready for Wilds, and I cannot wait. We have only a few days left, and best believe you'll be getting a whole lot more content from me, so don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys in the Forbidden Lands. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later in a bit.